I still remember the first time I saw the Philippines through foreign eyes. It wasn't through a textbook, a news headline, or a tourism ad. It was through a shaky handheld camera, a foreign accent filled with surprise, and a sentence that sounded almost apologetic. I didn't expect this at all. That sentence would quietly change how millions of people around the world saw the Philippines. For decades, the Philippines existed in the global imagination in fragments. Typhoons, poverty statistics, overseas workers, a country often mentioned, rarely understood. And then something unexpected happened. Foreign bloggers arrived, not as journalists, not as officials, but as ordinary travelers with curiosity, cameras, and time. They didn't come with a script, and that's exactly why people listened. Most of them landed with assumptions they didn't even realize they had. Some thought the country would be dangerous. Others expected extreme poverty everywhere. A few imagined silence, struggle, and sadness. What they found instead were smiles at the airport, conversations in fluent English, laughter that came easily, and a warmth that didn't feel rehearsed. Their cameras captured something powerful, genuine surprise. The first days of these bloggers often looked the same. Confusion at the traffic, laughter at the jeepneys, shock at how easily conversations flowed with strangers. They would sit on plastic chairs, eating street food they couldn't pronounce, while locals explained life stories without being asked. These moments weren't polished, they were human. And that was the point. What made these videos spread wasn't cinematic quality, it was honesty. A foreigner admitting on camera, "I was wrong." That single admission carried more weight than any tourism campaign. Viewers around the world related to that humility. They saw themselves in it. If this person was wrong, maybe they were wrong too. Foreign bloggers didn't just show places, they showed reactions. The Philippines became a backdrop to something deeper, the unlearning of prejudice. Each video felt like a personal discovery unfolding in real time. The beaches were stunning, yes, but the real hook was the people. A tricycle driver who refused extra money, a family that invited a stranger to eat without hesitation, a child switching effortlessly between languages. These were the scenes that stayed. Street food became a character of its own, not because it was exotic, but because it was shared. Bloggers didn't eat alone. They ate surrounded by locals, watching their reactions, laughing, teasing, explaining. Food turned into conversation. Conversation turned into connection. And connection turned into loyalty from viewers who kept coming back for more. Many foreign bloggers unknowingly became cultural translators. They explained Filipino humor to foreign audiences. They talked about hospitality, not as a concept, but as an experience. They showed what it felt like to be welcomed without conditions. Their videos didn't lecture. They revealed. Titles mattered. "I thought the Philippines was poor," wasn't meant to insult. It reflected a belief many viewers already had but never questioned. When the video unfolded, it gently dismantled that belief. Not through arguments, but through lived experience. Clean streets in certain cities, coffee shops filled with young professionals, internet speeds faster than expected, a modernity that coexisted with simplicity. And then there was language. Foreign bloggers were stunned by how easily they communicated. Conversations flowed, jokes landed. Emotional stories were shared without translation. This broke another invisible barrier. The Philippines no longer felt distant or foreign to viewers. It felt accessible. Over time, patterns emerged. Bloggers who stayed longer began to change. Their tone softened. Their curiosity deepened. They stopped filming only highlights and started filming life. Morning routines, market trips, long talks with locals about dreams, struggles, and family. The Philippines was no longer a destination. It was a place where life happened. Audiences noticed the shift. Comments filled with messages like, "This doesn't look like what the news shows," and "Why don't people talk about this more?" The algorithm did the rest. Videos recommending videos. Reactions feeding curiosity. Curiosity feeding millions of views. Filipinos played a quiet but crucial role in this. They shared the videos proudly. They corrected misconceptions politely. They welcomed foreign creators with openness instead of suspicion. That support amplified everything. A foreign voice praising the Philippines meant more when Filipinos themselves embraced it. Some bloggers fell in love with the country slowly. Others fell in love all at once. A few decided to stay. They rented apartments, learned bits of the language, built friendships that lasted beyond content. Their channels evolved from travel vlogs into life diaries, and their audiences followed them willingly. Critics sometimes questioned motives. Were these bloggers exploiting kindness? Chasing clicks? The truth was more complicated. While algorithms reward certain narratives, many creators genuinely change their worldview. You could hear it in their voices, see it in their patience, feel it in how they spoke about Filipinos not as content, but as people. The Philippines, through these foreign lenses, became layered. It was no longer just beaches or poverty. It was contradictions. Joy beside struggle, faith beside humor, chaos beside kindness. Viewers around the world didn't fall in love with perfection. They fell in love with authenticity. One of the most powerful impacts of foreign bloggers was normalization. The Philippines stopped feeling like a mystery. It became a place you could imagine yourself living in, visiting, belonging to. Digital nomads arrived. Curious travelers booked flights. Conversations changed. These bloggers also unintentionally challenged Filipinos themselves. Many locals saw their own country with new appreciation. "I never realized this was special," became a common reaction. Pride quietly grew. Validation came not from boasting, but from being seen. Over time, the Philippines became a recurring character in global YouTube culture, a place associated with warmth, humor, and humanity. Not because someone demanded it, but because millions watched it unfold naturally. What foreign bloggers really did was simple, yet profound. They listened. They stayed curious. They let themselves be changed on camera. And in doing so, they allowed the world to change its mind too. The Philippines didn't need to be reinvented. It just needed to be witnessed. And through foreign bloggers, the world finally watched. Not through polished campaigns, not through headlines, but through conversations, shared meals, laughter, and quiet moments of realization. That is how foreign bloggers put the Philippines on the map. Not as a destination, but as a feeling you don't forget once you experience it.